Welcome back to the second season of the Color Reimagined podcast presented to you by People of Color Clothing. Of course, I'm your host, 𝘗𝘪𝘭𝘢, but this season, we're going to do things a little different. All the way from Nashville, Tennessee, I'm going to have my cousin, Mark Brown, accompany me as a co-host this season and for the foreseeable future. So let's give it up for Mark Brown.
It's good, everybody. Appreciate you having me, bro.
Yes, sir, man. So very excited that we're able to connect on this, man. We've been talking about doing something like this for a long time, and as fate would have it, we're in a position now to do things digitally, and it's kind of like a culture norm right now. So I'm very excited to kind of hop into this podcast with you, curate different topics, have conversation, incredible interviews with different people within their respective industries, get different perspectives from all around the world, and really build this thing up. You know what I mean? So welcome to the podcast, man. Very excited to have you.
Before we start, bro, let's give a round of applause for the creator of 𝘵𝘃𝘁𝗵𝗵, man. Love to see how much you've grown, man, and what you've done with the brand. What we've done with the brand, but you in particular, bro. Blood, sweat, and tears, bro. It's been great to see it, and now we're here with the podcast. So I can't wait to see what the future holds.
For sure, man. I'm very excited too, man. I'm excited to build the community out, and big brick by brick, man, build this community up and this brand up to something that's going to be massive and impactful on society. But in lieu of all of that, man, we got a very interesting, exciting topic to talk about today. Today's topic is social movements and temporary activism. So we've talked on the phone. We talk on the phone pretty much every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, it's only right that we turn it into a podcast conversation to let the listeners know or hear what we talk about on a daily basis. So social movements and temporary activism. So I'm gonna let you get started off, kick the questions off, and we're gonna do it like that.
All right, bro. So topping it off, man, with our first question. Obviously 2020 was one for the history books. Although we're still battling with some things, still battling with the pandemic, and so forth. But with George Floyd and the uprising of awareness last summer, do you think that we, in particular, the Black community, we've made any progress since then?
I think, with all due respect to everybody that lost their lives at the hands of police or even gun violence, unarmed gun violence, respect to everybody that's lost their life from George Floyd to Daunte, from Daunte Wright on back. You know what I'm saying? This is something that's been going on for a long time. But I think this summer was a little bit different. Things hit a little bit different with George Floyd in particular, and seeing that, 9+ minute video really resonated with a lot of people, and it prompted the Black uprising that we saw. And I think, in that time frame, it's something that we probably won't ever see again in our lifetime. But the way that we came together, the way that we protested, the way that we advocated, the way that we brought awareness to all platforms, to all communities, was beautiful. But from that point to where we stand today, I don't think we've made any progress. We didn't get any legislation passed. There's nothing that we can concretely point to and say, hey, because we did what we did this summer, this has changed, right? And it's the crazy part is Daunte Wright got killed a few miles from where George Floyd got killed. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we can judge our progress right there with that question. Has progress been made from now until then? I don't think so. No. And in lieu of that question, I'm gonna flip one back to you. What do you think the current state of Black people is amidst these injustices that's happened in the last few years? Like, where do you think we are? Where do you think the state of Black people is?
Well, it's just finicky. It's just finicky, or what I would like to say is, man, it's inconsistent. It's inconsistent, man. It's almost like when these tragedies, these very unfortunate encounters and situations happen, we'll get out and we'll rah, and you know, we'll hold up signs and, you know, we'll wear our T-shirts, and you know, athletes will write and color on our shoes and things of that nature. But at some point it kind of dilutes. It's almost like a soda. You know, you pop the cap off, you know, it's crisp. But after so long, you know, the suds go down and the soda gets flat. And I think that's kind of the Black community in these situations, or in lieu of the title of this episode, within our social movement, it dilutes.
So it's even like, it's almost kind of saying like you saying that there's an emotional proponent to it that is inconsistent, because emotions, like we know, like the old saying goes, like emotions change like the weather, right?
Like,
and that's we bring a very emotional state to advocacy. We bring a very emotional state to these injustices that happen to our people all over this country and around the world. So I think until we get off that emotional stuff and we develop an element of dedication, principle, and focus towards whatever we're pursuing, things are just going to continue to sputter in place and happen over and over and over and over again. So,
and two other words you hear often is, or we hear often is planning and organizing, in which, to some degree, it can sound cliche, but I mean, prior to maybe the civil rights movement, and our ancestors, I mean, what planning and organizing are we doing? As you said, you know, things will get to going, the ball will get to rolling, and then at any point we're distracted, whether it be social media, whether it be pro sports, whether it be another a current event. It's just, like I said, man, it's just inconsistent, and it's hard to gain ground when you're emotional. Okay, and with that being said, as I just mentioned, you know, athletes and entertainers, who would you say are the leaders of the Black community?
Unfortunately, I would have to say the leaders of the Black community are entertainers and athletes, which is problematic within itself, because as entertainers and athletes, I think they, out of everybody, are the most performative, that to include white people. I feel, you know, our athletes and entertainers they get to a point in their career to where they don't want to affect their brand, right? They don't want to speak up on certain things, or they'll only take it so far. They won't, like, you know, push it over the edge. And we saw that this summer, the difference between the WNBA and how they advocated when they came out with the Jacob Blake 7 or 6 bullet holes in the back T-shirt. Like, that was profound. That was, when I saw that, I was like, wow, like they really about this. They really about that life. You know what I'm saying? And you compare that to the NBA, you really couldn't even compare, really. But unfortunately, I think, you know, athletes and entertainers are our leaders, right?
Yeah.
And they're always gonna protect their brand. They always gonna protect their pockets. They always gonna protect, you know, that contract or whatever. And to a point, you always say this on the phone, like, how much is your soul worth? Like, how much is a dollar costing you? How much is that dollar costing us as people? Because in my opinion, as long as athletes keep going the way that they're going, we don't stand a chance. Like, we don't stand a chance with how things are going. And I'm a pretty optimistic individual. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of look at the bottom of my Instagram and see, like, I'm pretty optimistic. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the state of the social movement, when it comes to the state of Black people, when it comes to the state of advocacy, when it comes to the state of our leaders, I have no confidence. We've made no progress from 1965, the civil rights, 1964, the civil rights bill, up until now. We've made absolutely no progress. And that's much in lieu of people protecting their brands and selling out over over money, essentially, right? And
Or
I think that, go ahead.
Or status.
Or status. But I think that Summer was a perfect example of that happening. You know, what's her name? Laura Ingraham, shut up and dribble, right? She told LeBron, shut up and dribble. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron, I would say, won that battle, right? He came out with "I am more than an athlete." He even had the audacity to come out with a documentary. I don't know if it came out yet. Oh, it did come out on Showtime. He did a documentary, "I'm More Than an Athlete." But when George Floyd got killed, right, basketball wasn't being played. Donald Trump made it a point to bring basketball back, right? In that moment, our leader, our ultimate leader, LeBron James, he could have stepped up and said, no, until this country meets our list of demands, we are not stepping back on this basketball court. But what did LeBron do? That's a question to you. What did LeBron do?
LeBron, I mean, he laced his kicks, man, you know.
And he started dribbling.
Yeah, he laced his kicks and won the championship.
Bro. He distracted us from the cause. And we even had a post this summer that I kind of leaned on you to write about how, you know, the NBA playoffs or the NBA bubble coming back into effect and how that affected our feed, right? We went from seeing George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. We went from seeing all of these names, all of these faces, all of this content on advocacy, you know, educating individuals on like what the Black state of America is, what we've been going through, what's you know, what's this, what's that, right? And then from there, our feeds started to change drastically when the NBA came on, right? And something that we talked about on the phone, you said, you know, LeBron, we can't hear you when you're dribbling, right? So that was a perfect opportunity for LeBron James to say, you know what, these are our list of demands. I'm not stepping back on this court until these are met. You know what I'm saying? We need restitution for what's being done to our people in these streets, right? So what happens? LeBron laces him up. You know what I'm saying? He gets back on the court. AD gets back on the, you know, Trump lobbies for people to get back on the court. He says, hey, I'm in contact with the commissioners. I'm tired of looking at ESPN Classic. I'm tired of looking at these old baseball games. I'm on the phone with Roger Goodell and Adam, what's the guy name from the NBA? Adam Silver, whatever his name is, bro. I'm on the phone with the commissioners. And I'm in that moment, I'm like, bro, why are you talking to commissioners, bro? You need to be talking to scientists. We in a pandemic, right? So what happens to our feed? We see LeBron James, we see Chris Paul, we see baseball, we see Luka Doncic, right? We see all of these things happening, and the momentum that we had is gone.
And I think that's a key word right there. That's a key word right there, momentum. With basketball. Basketball is a game of runs. It's a game of angles. It's a game of numbers. But it's a game of momentum. And going into the playoffs, which is typically what the bubble was. I think they got like 7 or 8 games or something like that. And then it was, you know, playoff basketball. At that point, you want to be playing your best basketball. You want that momentum or that push going into the playoffs, and kind of relating that to, as you asked, our current state. You know, in the midst of these social injustices and tragic encounters, where is our momentum? Where, you know, what foot are we putting forward? And it's you know, if it's a week of, you know, standing out in the street and protesting, or what the mural that was painted on the boulevard where the White House is.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like I said, it's unfortunate, man. It's I don't like.
But like in the terms of momentum, like I said, LeBron won the battle with I Am Athlete. He turned that into a clothing brand. He turned that into a documentary. He monetized off that, right? But when push came to shove, he started dribbling again. So yes, he won the battle, but Laura Ingraham won the ultimate war, right? Because we saw the Instagram feed, it changed. He started dribbling. LeBron, we can't hear you while you're dribbling, bro.
Right.
That's
and
something
to clear it up, in case somebody viewing, or maybe somebody will comment, what does that actually mean? Like, actually picture yourself, like, say I'm talking right now and I'm dribbling a basketball. It would be tough for you to clearly hear me and really depict what my message and what I'm saying, and that's, and coming up with that's the angle I was taking. It's hard to when I say them, we know who I'm talking about. When I say them, it's hard for them to hear you while you're bouncing the basketball. You're advocating that Black Lives Matter. You're advocating that we need police reform, defund the police. I mean, the list can go on, but it's hard for them to hear you while you're bouncing that basketball, and until we put us first, our people first, I don't know if we'll ever gain ground.
Yeah. And I think even in the midst of everything that was going on, Jacob Blake gets shot, right in the middle of the bubble, right in the middle of like playoffs. Justin Blake gets shots in Milwaukee with his 3 kids in the backseat, right? What's the response from the NBA? What's the response from all the prominent, the Dame Lillards, the LeBron James, the Anthony Davises? Like, what's their response, right? Like, what? It wasn't okay. If George Floyd wasn't enough of an example, Jacob Blake happened and nothing was done. They didn't cancel the game. They postponed the game. How much is $1 cost? How much is $1 costing us as a community amidst all of this social injustice? Like, there's nothing happening from our leaders, our rappers, our entertainers, that is providing a solid foundation for us to move forward. You know what I'm saying? WAP dropped August 7th, 2020, right? In conjunction to the playoffs happening, we get WAP. Every time a tragedy happens, whether it's George Floyd, Jacob Blake, Daunte Wright, we get the WAP challenge, right? We get the dance. You know what I'm saying? Daunte Wright was killed. And a couple days later, bro, the ski challenge come out. Fucking ski challenge come out, bro. People are doing the ski challenge and somebody just died. It's like, I am scared for our future, bro. We don't have the focus and the dedication, the principle, and the discipline to actually advocate for something past 5 minutes. It's just like we get so easily distracted as a culture. And that's everybody. That's everybody. We get so easily distracted that we're never going to make progress. And I wrote on a post. And it was kind of a fucked up post, but it was honest. And I said, if I would have died today at the hands of the police, unarmed, whatever, this is what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get shares on the story. I'm gonna get a hashtag. I'm gonna get a GoFundMe account, and I'm gonna disappear. And then right after my death on the 3rd or 4th day, on some Jesus shit, I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna edit that out. Nah, I ain't gonna edit that out, bro. On the 3rd or 4th day, I'm gonna get a dance. I'm gonna be replaced by a dance challenge. Like, and that's how we function. That's that temporary activism. We don't go hard. We're not consistent. We don't have discipline, and we lack the principles to really see stuff through. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. I'm gonna throw a question at you, man. What would you say is one of the glaring differences between the BLM movement and the Stop Asian Hate movement?
Thing is, you have the Asian community, and I say anything I say, I'm gonna say within respect to the Asian cultures. nothing I say, I don't want anything to be, taken as divisive or anything like that. I'm just, to my knowledge, to my observation. But you have the Asian community, and we talking about organizing, discipline, coming together as one. You get that with the Asian community, and with the awareness of, as the hashtag coins, Asian hate. You tell me, bro. If I was to get on Twitter or Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or whatever, I didn't see Asians, I didn't see Asians fucking crumping in front of a police force. I didn't see Asian females on top of police cars twerking and shaking ass and shit. You feel what I'm saying? No, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. This is how it's affecting us. And this is what we're going to do to receive justice from it. Their hashtag went to an actual bill getting put into legislation. And it's in the history of the Western world or human life. Like, when is the Black community, or where does the Black community have a bill, a law, or anything in legislation put in place for the advancement of Black people in the Black community?
I can't think of a time. Like, I literally, like, kind of how this screen share says, man, like the lynching hate crime bill has been turned down like 200 plus times or something like that. So I don't think we've ever we haven't had the discipline and the principles and the strategy in place to actually get stuff passed. We're just out there protesting. So that's how I'm gonna answer that question. Like, we haven't really had any significant bills that is going to essentially lessen the impacts or lessen the chances of police brutality, in my opinion.
Like I said, just the biggest difference, bro, is, on this side is there's organization, there's strategy, there's plans, they fortify.
So we were talking on the phone the other day, not to cut you off, but we were talking on the phone the other day, and you sent me something that you asked me a question. You actually asked me this question. You said, what's one of the glaring differences between the Black Lives Matter movement and the Stop Asian Hate? And I pretty much had a question. I answered that reminisce what you just kind of expressed to our listeners. There's organization on this side. You got people dancing in front of cops, yada, yada, yada. And, I texted you that question. I texted you my answer back, and you said, no, think deeper. Like, what's the glaring difference? And I was like, bro, I don't know. And you said, come on, Derek, think about it, bro. I said, I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then you broke it down to me. So break it down to me how you broke it down. Break it down to the people how you broke it down to me.
But and to me, the biggest difference in between the Black Lives Matter movement and the Stop Asian Hate movement, there was no rebuttal. There was no counter.
Say that one more time.
There was no rebuttal. There was no counter. As we all know, as we advocate, for Black lives and that we shall Black Lives Matter, the counter is always, well, all lives matter, white lives matter, blue lives matter, so on and so forth. Whereas with, Stop Asian Hate, it was Stop Asian Hate. And
it wasn't one of those things to where it was like stop all hate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it wasn't like a stop all hate, not just stop Asian hate. Let's stop all hate.
Yeah.
There was no counter narrative to distract from the narrative of stop Asian hate. It was just stop Asian hate. And to your point, when people say Black Lives Matter, no, all lives matter. In fact, white lives matter too. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you expressed that to me, I was just like, damn. I was like, I didn't even think about that. But sorry to cut you off, man. Continue.
And I haven't heard any rebuttal, bro. Nothing in opposition. And then they pushed the needle forward to then gain legislation for the people, for their community. Yet we can't even utter Black Lives Matter without an opposing force. And it's just for the is it the Olympic Games in Tokyo?
I believe it's in Tokyo, yeah.
The Olympic Games in Tokyo, they're already writing off no BLM, no Black Lives Matter clothing or anything being worn in those games. They just wanted to be strictly sports.
But I think, like, in conjunction to you talking about what's going on in the Tokyo Olympics, and them not being allowed to wear Black Lives Matter apparel at any point, I think that kind of goes into the anti-Black narrative that is practiced, anti-Black and anti-dark narrative that is practiced globally. This isn't just an American thing. You got to think, you got people in the Caribbean, people in Africa, people in China, bleaching their skin, bro. Bleaching their skin, bleaching out their melanin to appeal to whiteness. You got people in the Asian community getting eye surgeries to making their eyes wide to appeal to look like white people. Like, so that anti-Blackness, anti-dark issue that we have is deep. And I feel like this is a direct reflection of that, right? So the Olympics is probably the second biggest stage in the entire world,
right?
Behind the World Cup. The World Cup goes crazy. Right. But the Olympic Games, you got everybody watching, right? And I don't know if he talked about this. I might have been talking about this with my homie Jerron, but the three biggest sports in the Olympic Games are all dominated by Black people, right? So again, this is another opportunity for Black people, Black athletes to say, you know what? Y'all won't let us wear Black Lives Matter. Y'all already setting the tone. They setting the tone for anti-Blackness. They setting the tone for anti-darkness. They're setting the tone for not using this platform to convey a message to the world that people are suffering, that America is unjust, right? Y'all can't do this on this platform. Y'all need to shut up and dribble. Y'all need to shut up and run. Y'all need to shut up and hit. Y'all need to shut up and kick. Y'all need to shut up and fence. Just entertain me, right? And that, I feel like that's the narrative of us. Like, I feel like Blackness is only accepted when you can dribble, you can jump, and when you can put up a good 40 time, right? That's when Blackness is accepted. But anything outside of that, maybe you can rap and entertainment, singing sometimes. But anything outside of that, no, we can't have that here. You know what I'm saying? So entertain me. I don't want to hear about your community. You know what I'm saying? We can give you a what's that thing ESPN do on Sundays when they tell like them heartfelt stories on Sundays? You know what I'm saying? The 𝘊𝘳𝘃. Put it in your 𝘊𝘃. I don't want to hear about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut up and dribble. Entertain me. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go to these basketball games, when you go to these concerts, unless the concert is in a club, we ain't there, bro. Right. You go to a Portland Trailblazers game. It's not a lot of Black people in the stands. It's probably 80% of white people that's filling up them seats, that's buying them tickets to that concert, to that basketball game, to that football game, that's getting season tickets. Entertain me. It's almost saying like, entertain me, nigga. I don't want to see you kneeling. I don't know. No, get up. I don't want to see that. Play football, right? So the Tokyo Games is setting the tone early. And this is a great opportunity for our Black athletes to send a message to the world, Craig. to send a message to the world. And what we gonna do, bro? And this goes to the shout out to Kendrick Lamar, but you say this all the time. Like, how much is your soul worth? How much does $1 cost? And I understand, like, for a sport like track, they only get their glory every 4 years, right? But for basketball, LeBron James, again, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, why are y'all suiting up? Why do y'all have USA on y'all chest? Y'all standing up for a country that don't even stand up for y'all, bro. Y'all playing for a team. Y'all playing and representing a country that don't even respect us. You know what I'm saying? Shut up and dribble. The country literally told you to shut up and dribble. And you did this summer. In lieu of George Floyd, in lieu of Breonna Taylor, in lieu of Jacob Blake. You know what I'm saying? And so many other names. Y'all shut the hell up this summer and y'all dribble. But now you got another opportunity with the Tokyo Olympics to set the tone. What are we gonna do?
Man, it's almost like, man, you know, I'm more than an athlete until it comes to my contract.
Until that check is cut. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the NBA has to set the tone, because the NBA is the only league that has a leeway to do that. In the football, that's football different. You know what I'm saying? They will cut your ass in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, man. Shout out, man. But you know, as we speak in accountability, man, and as you said, setting the tone. You know, obviously, as a creator of POC, I mean, we in the field. POC is in the field, man, and
yeah, absolutely, bro. Every day,
man, with your hands, with your mind, with your energy. You know, you've advocated for the people, and not just, you know, Black people or the Black community in particular, but all people of color. And it almost feels weird asking this question, bro, but what was the reason for the POC brand not speaking out at the events of the shooting in Minnesota?
I think for me, exposing myself to these traumas every single day as a creator of the brand, you know, not only managing a business, not only like, you know, managing the day-to-day of the business, doing Zoom interviews and stuff like that. Like, I stay tapped in. I'm watching and reading, and, you know, I get the DMs, I get the emails, I see the Twitter post. So I'm in the trenches with this every day. I'm exposing myself to trauma every single day. So when I saw Daunte Wright's face, it reminded me of a friend, because their faces look similar. You know what I'm saying? So Daunte's Wright killing, it hit me a little different, right? So I think I had to mourn a little bit, and I didn't want to put the brand in a position to benefit from that tragedy. So I just chose to mourn. You know what I'm saying? I didn't post anything that week. I didn't post anything about him. And plus I just kind of wanted to see how it was going to play out. And again, he got 3 days on the ground before he was replaced with the ski challenge. You know what I'm saying? So for me as a person that's in the trenches, that's disheartening, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I chose not to speak on it because I knew it was going to be, I hate to say it was going to be a fly-by-night thing. I kind of wanted to mourn how I wanted to mourn. And I just basically took a week off of the gram. And the brand did too. And, you know, the Daunte Wright situation was just, for me, I think it really brought to light a fear complex that isn't often talked about, because I feel like irrational fear is timeless, right? I feel like America has done a great job of instilling fear in white Americans, not even in white Americans, but just in people in general about us. fear us, right? But what do you really have to fear? It's not like we conquested the world, exterminated, you know, the Native Americans, enslaved Africans, put Japanese people in concentration camps, killed close to 6 million Jews, went to the Congo, killed almost 15 million Africans. It's not like we did anything like that. So like, why do you fear us? Why is your fear so irrational that you confuse a taser with a 9mm? And not only that, you confirmed 3 times. You said taser, taser, taser. And you still shot a gun, bro. So not only did you pull it out the clip, and not only is that shit bright ass yellow, you put it to this man, right? All black. You confirm taser, taser, taser 3 times. And then you still pulled the trigger. And that, to me, it's not a mistake. It's irrational fear. And not only that, this is an officer that day was training other officers. And she got 26 years of experience. And you make that mistake? You mistake a gun for a taser? Like, it makes no sense to me. And it can only be chalked up to the irrational fear and power complex that officers have. Because when police officers put that badge on, they put that gun in that gun in their waist on that holster every day, they got a power complex, right? I see them in the street regular. They talk to me nice. They talk to me real nice. You know what I'm saying? Because they see me and they fear me, right? Subliminally, they fear me. Because when they only see us doing extraordinary things, because they're the ones that's buying the season tickets to the Blazers. They're the ones that buying the season tickets to the Tennessee Titans and the Seattle Seahawks. So they see us doing amazing shit all the time, right? So when they see us in the street regular, hey, how you doing? Oh, you play basketball? What team you play for? You know what I'm saying? You on a football team? What number are you, son? Mm-hmm. Right? But when you get that gun on your waist, it's like, is that? I see something shiny. Put your hands up. You know what I'm saying? So it's a power complex, bro, coupled with irrational fear that caused the death of Daunte Wright. So to wrap it back, to loop it back to your question, why didn't the brand say anything? I simply had to mourn, bro. Like, I'm tired of this shit happening, bro. Like, bro, 𝘊𝘲 Castillo runs in my mind all the time, dog. Like, I was literally riding my bike this morning, thinking about him. And like, literally on my bike, bro, I teared up. Like, like thinking about some of the shit that happens to our people, dog. Like, I almost want to apologize to their souls, bro, for not working hard enough as an advocate for social justice. Like, I'm riding my bike this morning and I'm apologizing to Daunte Wright. I'm apologizing to 𝘊𝘲 Castillo. I'm apologizing to Breonna Taylor. I'm apologizing to George Floyd, bro, because it's like, I'm not working hard enough, right? This brand hasn't had the impact that's really going to change and move the needle to prevent another hashtag, to prevent another person from being on the gram for 3 days and then being replaced with a dance. Like, I'm not working hard enough, bro. So it's bro, when I see shit like that, bro, I want to talk about it on the platform, but I'm also human, bro, and I also need time to mourn, bro. And I don't know, bro, but I'm just not working hard enough, bro, and I'm recommitting myself to using every platform that POC has created to bring about awareness, to generate that conversation, to ultimately get people to examine their conscious behavior as it relates to their identity, their perception. Okay, yes, you put a fucking sign in your yard, bro. Now what? You know what I'm saying? We need more from us. We need more from them. We need more from him. We need more from her. We need more from everybody, bro. So I don't know, bro, but I was on one today, bro.
Good, bro. That's heartfelt, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I'm appreciative to almost be a viewer and listen to you, man. I don't see that as a rant, man. I just see that as a sincere expression. How has that changed, or has there been any change since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris took office?
Absolutely not. I think, and Daunte Wright proves that. Daunte Wright proves that. There's still people, you know, being separated at the border. And I think, like, excuse my language, but they fucked me up when they said that America is not a racist country, right? I think there was somebody said that, and then Kamala Harris had the audacity to piggyback off that in agreement. So I saw us, again, temporary activism. I saw every entertainer, I seen the NBA, the NFL, hey, get out and vote, get out and vote, get out and we got to get Trump out. We got to get Trump out. We got to get Trump out, right? And it was just this whirlwind of like people advocating for voter rights and all this other stuff. Where them voices at now, bro? I haven't seen Cardi B since. I haven't seen P. Diddy talk about politics since. So it all kind of plays into like that temporary advocacy that we really are prone to as a culture, right? We're not consistent. We don't have principles. We don't have the discipline to really see stuff through. So yes, we got Donald Trump out of office, right? But I also feel like one thing I appreciated about Donald Trump, and that's probably problematic within itself, but one thing I appreciate about Donald Trump is that he had people tapping in every day. Donald Trump had people on their toes, tapped in. What's going on? What is this guy gonna say today? Like what you know what I'm saying? Like what policy is he trying to push today? You know what I'm saying? Oh, let me look this up real quick. The Paris Agreement Act. Okay, what is that? Right? I'm up here looking at, you know, CNN every day. I'm tapping in, right?
Or even just in the Black community in particular, like you named me, under what other presidency has the Black community in particular been aware and, or as you say, tapped in with just politics?
Yeah. Exactly. Because even with Obama, like Obama didn't do nothing for Black people while he was in office, respectfully, right? I think Cole said that in a song. You know, I want to change this with politics. Never stop fighting, don't stop believing. You know, it's a Cole lyric. Half an hour, check it out. Second verse. But I think, you know, when it came to Obama, we was happy to have a Black president in office, and we kicked our feet up, right? We stopped being tapped in. But as soon as Donald Trump got into that office, bro, everybody was tapped in. Everybody was like, okay, what is Trump doing? What is Trump? Trump was trying to bring back coal, bro. Like Trump was trying to bring back coal. That's problematic within itself. But again, like, and another thing that Trump did, and another thing that I appreciated Trump for, is that he allowed me to see my neighbor, right? Figuratively speaking, he allowed me to see that person that deep down they hold racist ideals, right? But Trump liberated them and allowed them to be more overt with their ideologies and their perspectives on this country and us as people of color and Black people.
So it's safe to say that in a way, Donald Trump kind of pulled back the curtain.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. He allowed people to go into their closet and take out that white thing, you know what I'm saying, put it on, like iron it, you know what I'm saying, get the lint roller on that thing, but blow the dust off. Like he allowed people to be comfortable in their racism, right? And it ignited us, right? I think the voter turnout was crazy. But where's that energy at now? As a people, right? Biden and Harris is in the office right now. Where's the energy? Are we holding them accountable? Are we holding them accountable for the things that they promised us, right? Or are we just kind of kicking back and just chilling? You know what I mean? And I think that's something that we have to ask ourselves as people. Like, why do we go hard for something temporarily and veer off into oblivion when, you know, we get temporary relief, temporary satisfaction? Like, why are we not holding these people accountable? Why are we not keeping that same energy that got them in that office? why are we kicking our feet up now and acting like we didn't, you know, we wasn't hell bent on getting Trump out? Like, where's that energy at now? You know what I'm saying? So has things changed since they've been in the office? No, in my opinion. But yeah. But yeah, man, I think we talked long enough. Our listeners are probably like, yo, I need to wrap this up. But we had a prolific conversation, bro. Super excited to kind of dive into more topics like this. And get guests in. I'm trying to talk about environmental health. I'm trying to talk about the arts. I'm trying to talk about outdoor advocacy. I'm trying to talk about it all this season, bro. So super excited that I'm able to partner up with you, being that you are in Tennessee, I'm in Oregon. But with this platform, we are making it work. And something that we want to do that's different this season is we want to leave y'all with some music. This is some of my favorite music right now. This is some music that I feel, I don't know, kind of resembles the time, resembles this conversation, resembles this podcast. So we'll go over it real quick. At the top of the list, we got Be Free by J. Cole. Second up, we got 𝗷𝗄𝘅 by J. Cole. We got Forbidden Knowledge by Rui featuring Big Crit. We got Stay Woke by Meek Mill. We got The Never Ending Story by Jay Electronica. We got Landed the Free by Joey Badass. Lockdown by Anderson .Paak. We got Black Exploitation by No Name. Entrepreneur by Pharrell. High Power by Kendrick Lamar. Window Pane by J. Cole. And to end the playlist, to wrap it up, we got Mortal Man by Kendrick Lamar. The interview that he does with Poc at the end of that is just absolutely prolific. It gives me goosebumps every single time, bro. So you can go on Spotify to check out this playlist. Just type Color Reimagined Podcast. It should be on our playlist. And yeah, man, that's a wrap, man. You got any last words?
That's a great first take, bro. Like I said, I'm excited to be here, man, and I'm ready to dive more into the topics. And man, like I said, I just can't wait to see what the future holds, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's a wrap, man. Thank you for tuning in to the Color Reimagined Podcast, presented to you by People of Color Clothing. That's your episode for today, folks, man. Have a good week.